Yo, what's up, YouTube? Rock the fuck on. And as by request, I'm going to be ranking, maybe not hardest ranking, because I don't even know this order could change on fucking dime. And that would be Testament, Over the Wall playing in the background. So, now, as I was saying before I get into this ranking was really hard. I have the least favorite, and my favorite is fairly close. It's always been my favorite Testament album, but it could probably also fall out of the first place spot. That's how close this damn ranking was, and top 4 or 5 might change a little bit, and the rest could be changed. Like I said, Testament's so damn, they're like overkill. They're so hard to rank. They're so consistent, and they've had the most talent ever. They had Skolnick, Peterson, twin guitar attack. Then you also had James Murphy on guitar coming in. You have Steve Giorgio, Greg Christian, John Tempesta, Louis Clemente, Dave Lombardo, Gene Hogland. I mean, the fucking lineup, especially the drummers, kept rolling every 5 or 6 years. There were so many, and there's no band that's been such immense talent throughout the whole year of their career, throughout their whole history. So started off, I don't have this album, and then to no surprise, the last place, I think I don't know, I think it's like 12, I think. I'm not counting First Strike Still Deadly, because it's just a re-recording of the first 2 albums. Demonic from 1997. I don't like harsh vocals of death metal at all. And Chuck Billy, a lot of his albums, he'll throw in like full songs or parts of songs with like growling vocals. He does it really well. And this album, I don't know, there's just nothing that stands out. Demonic Refusal, I think, was on their greatest hits. Might have been their single from the album. And I think it's Hatred Rise or Hatred's Rise. I'll have to look up the track listing. That's the one I like that sounded the oldest of Testament and not completely death metal, but the rest is, it's all death metal. So to me, it's not that great. So next up, this could get anywhere. I don't know. This order could change anytime, but going with, like I said, this one, Dark Roots of Earth. And I think, I don't know, it's 9 or 10. I don't fucking know either, or I haven't looked. And, this one is, it's not really pure thrashy. It's there's a lot of more mainstream metal, not mainstream, traditional metal on this album. Rise Up Against the Government, Native Blood. Chuck Billy is actually part Native, I think, and he wrote a few songs about it, natives over the years. Dark Roots of Earth, I think it's like another environmental song, like the Earth is going to just get pissed off, take over us. We're going to die anyway, so we better take care of the Earth. True American Hate, that's the one that's really heavy and fast. Man Kills Mankind, Last Stand for Independence, similar to the Rise Up, the fight against, freedoms. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this album, but it just, I think it actually hit number 12 on the charts, which was their highest ever. And I think it's from 2012. Next up, I'm going to go with their second to last album currently, Brotherhood of the Snake. And Brotherhood of the Snake talks about the elites, doing what the hell they want, because that's the Brotherhood, and the snake is like the symbol of their evil. And I think Brotherhood of the Snake is actually like a group also, like I know they have that group with the owls that meet in like California and shit, but I think there's one with snakes too. This snake is a symbol of like evil and doing all that shit. Brotherhood of the Snake. Pale King, that's a cool song. I think they released a video for that. Fortify Stronghold, another cool song. Centuries of Suffering, that's kind of like their death metal song off this album. Neptune Spear's cool. The Numbers Game ends the album. Solid lineup. One of their best lineups, maybe besides their debut from this album. And I think it's, I remember, Gene Hogland on bass, or on drums. It's a solid record. But it's low on my list because, like I said, I had to put it somewhere. Next up, a lot of people will have this higher. I like this title track. I like this album. It's from the classic period, but it seems like it's rushed to me. And the band members even said they had only a short time to write an album and put it out because they wanted to get on tour with Slayer at the time. So for me, it seems rushed. The songs aren't as well. I wouldn't say good, but they just seem like they might be like leftovers, and that's hard to see because it's cassette. It's the fucking dark. Souls of Black. I love the title track. It's one of my favorite songs. Look at the lost souls. They seem so black. Souls of Black. Cool fucking song. And then the Legacy was the other single from the album. It's the ballad. It's like their first ballad, or no, the second ballad because the previous album had one. 7 Days of May is a cool rocker, a hard rock song. I'm Falling Fast is cool. It's a really classic thrash song. And of course, Souls of Black. It's just, I don't know. I like the album, but it doesn't. I just want to say that besides the title track and the Legacy, there's not a lot there that is very memorable to me. But it's a cool record regardless. And next up, a lot of people have this one higher. Almost every list I checked, it's in people's top 5, and that's their comeback album technically, because after the late 90s they took a extended break, and Chuck Billy I think had cancer, and he even went to see a shaman, and he got cured thankfully, and took years before they got really back producing music, and that is the Formation of Damnation from 2008. It's when I was in college, 2008. And More Than Meets the Eye was the single off this, the first single. It's really good, solid. It starts with an intro for the Glory Up. And my favorite song off the album is The Evil Has Landed, that talks about 9/11, how the towers fallen, and it's a really fucking strong song. It's lyrically one of their best songs in their whole catalog. Formation of Damnation and title track, death metal, fast, hard, heavy, pretty much all death metal. Prosecuted Won't Forget, The Prosecuted Won't Forget, it's a cool song. Hitchman Ride, Afterlife, talking about his dying father that, it might be Chuck Billy's actual father he's talking about in Afterlife. So, yeah, it's a good album. A lot of, like I said, a hell of a comeback, great sound, mostly pure thrash with, the title track kind of being death metal. And next up, speaking of death metal, is The Gathering from '99. Dave Lombardo, almost said Dave Navarro, on drums. On the album. And this one, my God, this is their heaviest record by far. It'll kick you in the fucking teeth. It's just pure, heavy, really heavy thrash and really heavy death metal vocals. It's like a mix of both. It's not pure death as, say, demonic, but the songs are a lot better and heavier. And the reason why this is so high, because there's a lot of death metal growling vocals on this album, is I just like the sound of it, and the production, and it's just killer. The songs are really good. Do Not Resuscitate kicks the album off. It's really solid. 3 Days in Darkness. 3 Days in Darkness in 2012. That's a cool song. It would have been really iconic if it said 2020, because, it would be 300 Days in Darkness because of freaking COVID. Legions of the Dead. Careful What You Wish For. Good ones. Hammer of the Gods ends the record. It's a lot of, just like I said, it's really growly, heavy vocals, great drumming from Dave. True Believer might be my favorite. 3 Days of Darkness and Do Not Resuscitate. That's The Gathering, their heaviest sound, ironically, in the late 90s, which is really strange. Next up, this is a tough one. These two could flip-flop any second. I had this in my top 5, but I dropped it down to 6. But I could see it being in the top 5 anytime soon. And that's Low. A lot of people have it low on their list, no pun intended. and it's very 90s. It's the title track, "How low can you go? Have some sympathy." It has like death metal vocals, like partly in it, and Dogface Gods, which was the second single, which is all death metal. So it has the early death metal that would be prevalent on the next two records, and it's also like progressive, doomy, and like it's also groove metal like Pantera. But I love Low. Hail Mary, full of grace. Great song there. Trail of Tears might be my top 5 Testament songs, talking about, you know, the destruction of the Indians, natives, and forcing them out onto reservations, obviously. And PC, to talk anger song about political correctness and hated the government. That's why I love thrash, not just because I play drums, and I like drumming, even though I don't like playing blast beats. But I'm anti-government. I'm anti, you know, I don't like, you know, being told what to do, and you know how they talk about religion, politics, all that. I really like how they sing about the true problems in society. All I Could Bleed, Chasing Fears. I mean, it's a great album. Definitely one of the most underrated metal albums ever. And on the wall here, I'll put a picture right here. I have the full band of the era signed, and John Tempesta doesn't. He left after the album. So I got even the rarer signature, John Dett, who also went to play for Slayer and a bunch of bands, really. And has his autograph on there. So it has all of them: Chuck Billy, John Dett, Greg Christian, Eric Peterson, and James Murphy. Cool as hell. So coming in at the top 5, I got their new album. I had it at 6, but I moved it up because I love the first half of the album so much. Children at the Next Level, talk about the Heaven's Gate and the weird Haley's Comet, cult, World War III, destruction of the war, you know, world. Dream Deceiver is a very melodic chorus and song. It's one of my favorites. It's very mainstream, like melodic, sort of like what they would do 3rd, 4th album. Night of the Witch did one. City of Angels, talking about Night Stalker, 1980s. Richard Ramirez, love that one. Symptoms has some death metal parts. Symptoms, like that, how he says it's like death metal, but it's thrashy. Curse of Osiris is really heavy. It's just like fast, speeding thrash metal. And Catacombs is another one. I don't know why Testament does this. They did it on this one, Low, and a few others. This one, they end the album with just a instrumental, and Hammer of the Gods might even be in. I think it is instrumental. It's been a while since I listened to that album. That's what they did for a lot of their albums. They ended with an instrumental, which I always thought it's weird to do that, but I guess it's normal for an instrumental to open a record, but whatever. It is what it is. And next up is their first album, and that's The Legacy, which is playing in the background, which was the original title of the band that formed in '83. And they had Steve Souza that went on to sing for Exodus. He was their original singer, and Chuck Billy was in a different band, and he occasionally would perform with them. And when he joined Exodus, he recommended Chuck Billy, and the rest is history. They also had a guy named Derek Ramirez. He might have been the original singer before Steve. I think it was who that was, and I don't know who the hell that is. I don't think he ever did anything. And so, like I said, the rest is history. Over the Wall, classic Testament, one of their most popular songs about the prison break. They made a video, first video they did, haunting, about like the witching hour, you know, black cats, you know, superstition. And by the way, this album is right behind The Gathering is their most fierce, heaviest record in my opinion. It's just straightforward thrash, and along with Field of Fire by Overkill, it's this one, or I love both, as they're my 2 favorite debut thrash albums. Raging Waters, about, you know, talk about being on the storm during the sea in the boat, and trying to make it through, and Bermuda Triangle and all that. Curses of the Legions of Death, another thrashy, really in-your-face album song. First Break Still Deadly, really fast-paced metal thrash out the ass. Alone in the Dark and Demons in My Mind, that's a cool one, Alone in the Dark. And Apocalyptic City, which is pretty much what this shirt is, almost similar to Return to Apocalyptic City cover. It's that mascot they have. It's a little different, but similar. Talking about the city's burning. I might be nuclear war. I don't think it talks about nuclear war specifically, but I'm pretty sure it's burn city, burn population. Pretty sure it's about setting cities on fire, nuclear war. It's a great song, but my favorite two are the last two, and Over the Wall. So that's now the top three. Always been my top three. So here we go. This one is always lower on people's list because it's their Black Album, technically. That's the Ritual from 1992. It's very progressive, traditional metal, a little bit more mainstream, slower songs, and not thrashy that much. It's still thrashy, but not a lot. Once again, they have Signs of Chaos intro to the album. I think almost most of the records do that. Electric Crown, such a good song. The first single and video they made for it. Let go of my world, let it go. That's a cool one. The Ritual, I think it's about human trafficking. It's like, now that you've been sold to a world that's so cold, and it's really slow, like almost like doomy song, doom metal. As the Seasons Gray, talking about getting older. And then Return to Serenity. Maybe the first Testament song, first or second Testament song I heard. This is the first Testament album I bought, by the way, that I purchased. And, being in my late 30s, early 90s, when I first got into metal, naturally, that's probably why I like it so much. And I like the Black Album, too. Even though I'm not a Metallica fan, per se, this is, like, right on their trajectory with the Black Album. Very more mainstream, slower. And I return to serenity. I'm gonna take you to a place far from here. Yeah, it's all ballad. It's just really, Testament's not really good at ballads, but I love Return to Serenity. The Legacy's good, but my favorite has to be Trail of Tears. It's just a really good song. But yeah, Return to Serenity, Electric Crown, So Many Lies, Let Go of My World, The Ritual. Yeah, it's not really thrashy, like I said. I mean, it still has its elements of thrash, but it's more progressive, doomy, traditional metal. That's The Ritual. By the way, I'm not doing any song clips because it's already at 20 minutes, and I don't want to make long-ass videos because people don't like to watch. I talk too much. So these next two are my two favorites, and the final two. Second album, New Order. Eerie Inhabitants is a great opener. The New Order in the world, New Order's here. Yeah. It talks about, the NWO, New World Order, the elites taking over the world. No matter how much we fight back, it's coming. They pretty much run this fucking government now. This Trial by Fire, this is what the people say. A new way, a trial by fire. Cool fucking song, one of my favorites. Into the Pit, another awesome song. Hypnosis is an instrumental. Disciples of the Watch, obey. Great fucking track. Nobody's Fault is an odd choice. Aerosmith song, maybe the heaviest, fastest Aerosmith song, and one of my favorites. It's Off Rocks. I love it. My favorite Aerosmith album. Which it's not on the LP, which is really strange. Day of Reckoning, and then another instrumental to end the album again. And last up, my favorite Testament album, which nobody ever has as their favorite hardly ever, is their third album, Practice What You Preach. Practice what you preach. Preach! Talking about, religious and crap like that. Perilous Nation, Totalitarian Government. This is what that's the other song. It's like, Perilous Nation has a great bass line. How does it go? It's like, this is what you've done to me. you know, talking about totalitarian government, and you know, you can't have your own freedoms. You know, pretty much the government controls everything. I, my ADHD, I swear I forget lyrics so easily. Envy Life, good song. Time is coming. This isn't that people say. I forget the lyrics, but cool song. Greenhouse Effect, really good one. It's almost kind of like a ballad too. It's about environmental holocaust and environmental destruction. Highlighted of the album, probably that and the title track. Sense of Emissions, talking about suicide. You don't want to do suicide. The ballad, it's their slowest song probably ever. That and the Return to Serenity. And Confusion Fusion, I think, is another instrumental that ends the album. So, you know, it's a very diverse album compared to the first two because it's slower in parts, more progressive, more traditional metal, just like the Ritual was. But it still had thrashiness, more thrashiness than the Ritual. So that's Practice What You Preach. I always loved that album. I don't know why. I love the title track. It's my favorite Testament song. And I like Greenhouse Effect, one of my favorite Testament songs. And, you know, it's just, I don't know. They never play anything from that record besides the title track. Very rare anymore. So that's my ranking of Testament. Upon request, I was always going to do one. I just needed more albums. And I never was very good at, you know, ranking thrash because they're very complex lyrically, and you know, a lot of the albums are very similar. It's hard to do. And this album, this list was hard to make. Like I said, they can change on a daily basis, but I've always loved Practice What You Preach, The New Order, and Ritual as my top three. Those will probably never change. The order might. So that was my ranking. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite Testament song, album, era? And thanks for watching. It's already 22 fucking minutes long. And I didn't even put any song samples in, so I just love talking. So Halloween's coming up soon. I might do a video on like horror films or something, I don't know, or who knows. Or I might do that 90s albums that I was talking about in my last video about, you know, ones that are very underrated albums from each year, just a handful or so. Anyway, I'll put a video here. Thanks for watching. Rock on YouTube, and if you have any other requests, let me know. Even if I don't listen to or like the band, I might make a video, and just to see. But I would have to listen to the albums if I don't have them or don't like them. Within reason, like I'm not going to do new metal or, you know, type of the genre I don't like, I don't know, rap or anything. So anyway, keep on rocking. Horns up. See you soon. Peace.